Magomed Ankalaev says, I was offered to fight Alex Pereira International Fight Week. If the man don't want it, let's move on. I'm ready for everyone. I dare you. This makes it seem like Alex Pereira wasn't hacked and he was talking about this with that tweet. I always answer the UFC calls, but if they want to play with me, we can do that. I've never spoken poorly of the UFC, but with what I just heard, I'm disheartened. I've already had thoughts of not fighting anymore, and after what was just relayed to me, this may be the start.
My thought is, while Hunter was there to meet Islam, guess who else Rizvan Magomedov manages? Guess who else he manages? Big Unk. While he's in Dagestan, right? He's speaking to Islam about the fight. Remember, Chill, we still ain't got a main event for international fight. That's a short period away. He goes, what about you, Ankalaev? Are you available? Ankalaev's like, okay, I can fight. And then you go to Pereira and go, Pereira, are you available? And Alex is like, well, it's short time to get ready, right? Okay, Alex, we're going to give somebody else this title fight. Alex gets mad, goes to the internet, puts that up there, then gets a call going, hey, man, that's my thought. That's what happened. So, yes, while Hunter was in Dagestan, I think it was a 2-for-1 call, Chael. I think he spoke to Magomed, and he spoke to Islam. I don't know this is fact, but I know this game enough to put that together and feel pretty confident.
Jack Della Maddalena didn't think the significant strike numbers in rounds 1 through 3 in his fight with Bilal Muhammad were accurate. They had him up 23-16 in round 1, 22-21 in round 2, and they had Bilal up 34-29 in round 3. On 2 of the scorecards, it came down to the 5th round. It was 2-2 going into the 5th, and JDM had a really clutch 5th round. He looked like he was about to stop that fight on 2 separate occasions during that round, which is quite impressive. He has no experience going past round 3 until this fight, and he was fighting a guy who pushes a very hard pace for the entire 25 minutes, so that was a very impressive 5th round. So now JDM, at age 28, is a UFC champion. 18 straight wins. He lost his first 2 pro fights. After that, he's won 18 in a row, 8-0 in the UFC, and he has 6 bonuses in his last 7 fights. The welterweight division is in an interesting spot because it has a lot of contenders now. The guy fighting for the belt next might be a guy who's not even in the division. It could be Makhachev moving up to get a title shot. Then you got number 1 ranked Sean Brady. He's right up there. Could get a title shot. Shavkat Rakhmonov could get a title shot. He was supposed to get a title shot, but got injured. And then you also have Joaquin Buckley, who, if he beats Usman, he'll probably be asking for a title shot as well. And Bilal Muhammad's right up there as well. So the division's in a good spot in terms of there's a lot of fresh matchups to be made. But the belt has been changing hands a lot lately. It has changed hands twice in 10 months. Went from Edwards to Bilal, and now Bilal to Jack Della Maddalena. Seems like the belt is getting harder and harder to defend, though. Bilal didn't have any title defenses. Before that, Leon had 2, and before that, Usman had 5. But 2 of them were against Colby, and 2 of them were against Masvidal, 1 against Burns. So 5 defenses against 3 guys. GSP was the GOAT of title defenses in the welterweight division, beating Fitchpen, Alves, Hardy, Koscheck, Shields, Condit, Diaz, and Hendricks.
He said, I'm not leaving Montreal without that belt. Does that mean he lives in Montreal now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, big change. Big change. Right. Different winters there, dude. You know what I mean? So, I expected more takedowns. Okay, now it's easy for me to say on the outside. Okay, sure. We can look in and say, oh, well, I don't know how he was feeling, what had happened to him during the fight. I don't know how he felt, but from the outside, was it the 3rd or 4th round, when he mixed in his striking and his shots. Yeah. When he mixed in the strikings to bring Jack onto it, to mix into his shots, they were clean every time. Yeah. Every time. I think his only 2 takedowns, more or less, were from the open mat, drawing Jack into it, sort of thing. Now, why didn't we see more of that? You know, I can't help but feel like Bilal was trying to make a point striking with Jack for the first 3 rounds.
He was, I think so.
And if that's the case, that is Ridiculous.
I was wrong. Jack Della Maddalena is the new champion in the division because Bilal didn't shoot any takedowns. Mental. I know. So here's the matchups I think we should see in the welterweight division. I want to see Carlos Prates take on Jeff Neal. Two heavy hitters, two big southpaws. That's a fight I'm interested to see. Then Leon Edwards is always moaning and complaining, I don't want to fight any wrestlers, I want to fight strikers. Then let's give him the most awkward striker in the entire UFC, in Michael Venom Page. That's a fight I'd like to watch. Now, you've got the new champion, Jack Della Maddalena, the Aussie, great performance, but sloppy. The rumour is Islam Makhachev is moving up to 170, and if he does, then all of us welterweights have to take a step back and give the man the respect he deserves. But if negotiations don't go so well, then you've got a tall, blonde Irishman who's ready to take over the UFC and get that belt, and I will smoke Jack Della Maddalena. I'll box the ears off him.
But congratulations, my man, on your induction. You well deserved, well overdue. You're the pioneer that really started MMA, man. I remember watching you in those days in that fight with Vanderlei Silva. Like, you're the one that, honestly, Vitor, you made the UFC, bro, since the beginning. And
I brought the athleticism. I think that's what I brought the athleticism.
you made it MMA. Yeah, you brought the hands to mixed martial arts, dude. But
Let's do great things together.
Jose Aldo says this may have been my last time inside the octagon. This week, I faced one of the biggest battles of my life, and it wasn't against my opponent, but within myself. Over the past few years, I rekindled the dream of becoming a champion once again. I trained as I always did, gave more than I ever had, but while cutting weight, something inside me said, you don't need to do this anymore. And I listened. It's time to move forward, to live for my wife, my kids, celebrate the story I wrote with every war, every belt earned through blood, sweat, and faith. Thank you, Dana White and Lorenzo Fertitta. Thank you to the UFC. And most of all, thank you, my fans. You were the fuel behind every walk to the cage. You made me a king. If this was my farewell, know that I leave in peace with a heart full of gratitude and my head held high because I made history, because I lived my dream, because above all, I stayed true to myself.
Fala galerinha, beleza? Poxa,
Wow,
resolvi
I
fazer esse
decided
vídeo
to
aqui
make this
porque,
video here because
eu sei-
they asked how I was. I didn't even want to know about the fight. I wanted to know if I was okay. So, when I got off the stretcher, it's an option. It's a UFC protocol, right? I was conscious, right? I fell there, but I got up. I was conscious, but as I had neck pain. The protocol is I left on a stretcher, right? So, because I wouldn't know if I walked normally, right? I was conscious, though. It was a knockout war that I see waging there, that I've already posted about it, of panic attacks. It's not depression. Guys, don't confuse it. I love my life. I love everything I've achieved. But I came fighting for him. I came fighting these battles in the mind, in the panic attack, anxiety crisis. This last camp was very exhausting. I prepared a lot, right? And taking medication. I got here, I couldn't. I was 400 grams short of having the weight, and the doctor asked if I was taking any medication. When I said yes, he said, oh man, the medicines you're taking, the medications you have taken make it difficult to cut weight. But anyway, I didn't take weight. I went to the fight. I was fine, but man, it happened.